What is going on, YouTube? This is Owen Dowell here, and this is the end of December 2017, aka the end of 2017, and that means it is time for the Zippo Collection Update 2017. Now this is going to be a particularly short video because this wasn't the most productive Zippo gear I have had. Just a lot of things have come up that prevented me from buying Zippos, and I just wasn't able to really get that many. So as a result, this isn't going to be the longest Zippo collection update in the world, which may or may not be a good thing. But I will go ahead and tell you guys that next year is going to be different. I am going to absolutely do my best to get more Zippos and 2 more new Zippo videos next year, because looking back, this year was a little bit miserable. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into this video, all right? So let's go ahead and start off with the very beginning of the year. This is in January when I purchased this particular lighter. All right, here's the box. It's in a standard Zippo box. All of these are going to be in standard Zippo boxes. I'll just go ahead and throw that out. This one, if we take a look at the back, is you can see a Jack Daniels product. This is actually 250, that is a 5, 254 BJD 428 Jack Daniels label. I think that means label. And yeah, there it is. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at it. Boom, here it is. This is the brass Jack Daniels emblem lighter. This is probably one of the most beautiful Zippos I own. Check that out. Let's go ahead and let's take this out. You can see it's on a brass finish. It's on a basic brass Zippo. There's a close-up. I am going to have to make a note of my current lighting setup because this looks really good. I am quite a big fan of how I got the lighting working right now. I did just take a studio photography class last semester, so I don't know if that's influenced it at all. I just kind of set up the lights until they worked, but I'm actually really digging how that's catching on the camera. Even if I get really close, you're still getting those nice white lines and all that stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and resituate, get a little more comfortable. Come up close, there you can see the Jack Daniels logo. I like this one. It looks like it's on a nice faux leather kind of texture here. As you can see, it's really pretty. And you can also see how it's got this nice antique look to it. I haven't carried this Zippo with me at all. It's still in brand new condition on the back, as you can see. This is as it came. It came with this nice pre-weathered kind of look to it, which I definitely dig. I love this lighter a lot. Everybody I've showed this lighter to has wanted it. This is like the best lighter to show off at a bar or to show off to your friends who happen to like alcohol and whiskey. This is an absolutely awesome Zippo. And I would carry it if it wasn't so dang expensive. I don't have the price tag on here, but if I remember, I don't remember what I paid for this, but this was in the 20s on Amazon with a discounted price on Amazon. So that is quite a lot of money for a Zippo, but it was definitely worth it. As you can see, this is definitely worth like 20 bucks or so. You can see the bottom stamp there was made in J of last year, which is October of 2016. It's got the brass insert, which is really nice. I do like seeing the brass insert show up. And you can see we've got I of 16 on that. And this still has the flint in it, so I never actually got around to taking that out. Yeah, this is definitely a good way to start off 2017. And as I mentioned in the video, I have had a couple of Jack Daniels whiskeys, and I haven't really had any even since making the video. So I don't really know a whole lot about whiskey. I'm more of a beer type of guy. I like beer. I believe I've had the original, like just the, no, what is it, Old 47, or no, sorry, Old Number 7, my bad. I've had that, and I wasn't super crazy about it. And I've also had a apple cider flavor, which I was also given real apple cider to chase it down with, which is kind of an odd chaser if you think about it, because it's so piping hot. So I actually just wound up taking it and mixing it in with the apple cider, which actually was pretty pleasant. But on its own, I wasn't too crazy about it. And then, excuse me, got a little bit of a cough coming in, I think. And then I've had a honey flavor of Jack Daniels, which, if I remember, I absolutely hated. There was just nothing good about it. Just was not a fan. I don't know. Honey is one of those things that I'm a little bit weird about. I'm a little picky about it. I like honey generally. Most honeys I do like, but some of them just have a taste that I don't really prefer. And if you take that honey flavor and you liquefy it, it can like make it a little bit odd and just something that I'm not particularly into. So yeah, I typically try to stay away from honey drinks, but you know, I guess some people out there like it, which is why they continue making it. So yeah. Nice. So there is that one. Now the next two I actually bought together, and unfortunately these are also the last two. So yeah, like I said, this might actually wind up being a pretty short video. Let me go ahead and let me see which one this is. Yeah, this is one I wanted to show next. This one right here is Zippo numero dos. It is model 233 regular red matte. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. There it is, the red matte Zippo. And I have been wanting the Zippo red matte ever since I really got into collecting. I was first introduced to the red matte when my youth group went on a field trip back in 2011. Not really a field trip, it was more of a retreat. It was actually called Winterfest 2011. It actually took place at the beginning of 2011. And one of the things that our youth group in particular decided to do is we went to the mall that was over there. And I remember going into the Pipes Limited store there and thinking that, you know, that was just like the craziest thing I'd ever seen. They had like 3 revolving displays that were absolutely packed full of Zippos. And I was just basically in heaven. Like, I was a new Zippo collector. I started collecting Zippos in 2010, like the end of 2010. So yeah, literally being like less than a month into collecting Zippos at that point, everything was just completely new and wow to me. It was super cool. I actually wound up getting a blueberry matte Zippo from that store, but I remember there was a jewelry stand that had a revolving Zippo display there, and when I went up to that jewelry display, they had, like, you know, I saw the Zippo display and I was awed by it, and they had a red matte, but this red matte that they had actually had the Zippo logo right here, and I fell in love with it. I really wanted to buy it right then, right there. But at the time, it was 2011. So at the time of this retreat, I was 17 years old. And when I saw that Zippo, I asked the guy if I could buy it. And he asked me how old I was. And I said I was 17. And he said that you have to be 21 in order to buy the Zippo, which makes no sense. I still really don't understand why you would actually restrict the purchasing of a Zippo lighter to a 21-year-old. I can only assume this guy wasn't really educated in Zippos, because obviously this is a brand new, the Zippo's in brand new condition. You know, you spark it, you're not going to get any fire out of it. You're just going to get a spark, all right? It doesn't come filled. Zippos actually can't come filled, because if you were to ship a Zippo filled, I actually made a video about this. If you were to ship a Zippo filled, it wouldn't be a very productive idea, because on the way to the destination and in storage, all the fluid would actually just evaporate out, and you would wind up at the end of the day with an empty Zippo. So you can't actually store filled Zippos like that in a warehouse situation or in a store, because they'll just completely empty themselves out. So I guess the guy just wasn't aware of that, but I also think that 21 is kind of an odd age to limit the purchase of any lighter to, really. I understand 18, because 18 is when you're legally allowed to smoke. Isn't it 18 or is it 16? No, 16 is when you're legally allowed to drive, and 18 is when you're legally allowed to smoke. So I think 18 is when you're like, I would then be able to understand having that kind of a restriction lifted. So it really was kind of an odd situation. I'm not really entirely sure why he did that, but yep, that's where I found out about the red matte Zippo. I do apologize about that long spiel, but here it is. This is the one that I wound up buying. We actually went earlier this year. We went to another mall where they had another Pipes Limited, and this Pipes Limited was a little bit disappointing in the Zippo department. No, this wasn't a Pipes Limited. This one had Tinderbox. They had a Tinderbox. And this Tinderbox had a really disappointing Zippo selection. They didn't actually have much at all. The one that's down in near Myrtle Beach, it's in Barefoot Landing. So it's not in Myrtle Beach, but it's near Myrtle Beach. It actually had like a couple of revolving displays of Zippos, which is nice. This one only had like 6 on display, and one of them was a red mat. And when I saw it, I just remembered that, man, I've wanted the red mat for so dang long that it's just time to go ahead and get it. So I decided to go ahead and buy it, even though it's the generic one without the Zippo logo on it. I really, really wanted the red mat at the time, so yeah, that's why I bought it. And here it is. You can see it's still in immaculate condition. I really don't carry a lot of my Zippos. You can see here it is H of 2014 when this one was made. That would be, H is August, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yep, I think that is August. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yep, August. I get like August, September, October kind of jumbled up because they're kind of similar numbers. So, well, they're all similar numbers. That was stupid. I don't know. I tend to get my months mixed up when I think of them numerically, so I have to double check. But yeah, August of, excuse me, August of 2014. I hope I'm not getting sick because I just got over being sick, and now I feel like I'm getting sick again. And the insert, which is really tight for some reason, was made in C of 2015. So yeah, that's quite a large gap, isn't it? And I've mentioned in the past that Zippos with inserts that are in such a large gap in terms of the body date versus the insert date, you know, a lot of people tend to think that's a red flag. Oh my gosh, my Zippo's fake because how different those are. Guys, at this point, like, I've said it enough. I've actually seen a lot of other people on YouTube talking about it. It doesn't actually mean anything. It just means literally the insert was made a year after the case. That's all it means. They make a bunch of these cases, especially these generic ones. Like, you've got to imagine, these generic ones, they probably make these all the time. And they just kind of get stored away, and eventually when they just, I don't know, it's odd. There's a lot of questions that I'd really like to ask about Zippo, about their manufacturing habits, and one day I do hope to go to their actual manufacturing plant and be able to ask them some stuff. But, you know, it's just one of those things that is just kind of how they operate. So, yeah, the inserts can have pretty substantially different dates from the actual body itself, but it is uncommon. Alright, so that's it for the red mat. Let's go ahead and let's move on to what is unfortunately the last Zippo in this the last video in this update. It might not necessarily be the last Zippo in this video, but the last Zippo for this update is actually right here, and this one is the 214 Flame Art number 4. You can see this is also a numbered model. I got number 684 out of 850. They made 850 of these total. Let's go ahead and open it. There it is. This is the Steven Spazek Flame Art. This is, you can see we've got a bird there. Oh my gosh, I feel really stupid because I don't know what that bird is. Dang, is that a dove? Oh my gosh. I don't know what that bird is actually. I am not very good with birds, even though I really do like birds. That looks like, it's not a dove, because I don't think doves have a colored head. Oh my gosh, I feel like somebody out there is going to be like, oh my gosh, are you serious, Owen? Like, everybody knows what that is, and then he's going to tell me what it is, and I'm like, oh yeah, duh, I should have known that, because, like, that's a very common bird. But, you know, I feel like the name of it was in the description, and I'd probably even mentioned the name of this bird in the actual video itself, but, you know, I just don't remember what it is. But there it is. The cool thing about Steven Spazek is that he actually painted this using fire. If you go on Facebook, look up Steven Spazek on Facebook. It's spelled, I'll put it on the screen right here so you know how his name is spelled. And I think Zippo even did a couple of interviews with him. I don't know if they're still on their website, but I think actually Zippo is selling more Steven Spazek models, to my knowledge. I don't know if they still are, but I saw a few more come back on, and I really should have bought them, but I didn't. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So there it is. It's on a white mat. You can see the numbering is on the side. That's kind of the thing that Zippo, I think, is going to stick with. Originally, they were putting the numbering like on the front itself, which, you know, obviously would get in the way of the design. I kind of like how they're putting it on the side there. Here's the date. February of this year, February of 2017. There you go. Not the best sound in the world. I think this one actually had a pretty solid sound, so there you go. Check that out. There's the insert. This one I actually took the flint out of. It looks like it's kind of odd. Sometimes I remember to take the flint out, sometimes I don't. At this point, it's just kind of like if I get to it, I do. If I don't, then I don't. But it's probably one of those things that I need to go through and really do to the ones that I'm not planning on using, because those of you who don't know, if you don't take the flints out of your Zippos, it takes a long time for this to happen. But after a long period of time, which can be like 5 to 10 years, the flints can deteriorate and actually clog up. I'll show you. It'll actually clog up. This one's actually hand tight, which is nice. The flint tube right there. This can get clogged up. When the flint deteriorates, you got to imagine this. You've got this thing right here, which is basically a plunger on a spring, applying constant pressure to the flint. And when that actually is against the flint, it's applying quite a good amount of pressure to it. It's not applying a lot right now because there's no flint in there. But when the flint is in there, it is kind of hard to push that in. So when the flint deteriorates, it turns to powder. And then you got this thing constantly pressing against it. It's going to compact it into like a little clump of powdered flint stone. And you're just going to get this clump that will clog up your flint tube. It's not the worst thing in the world to fix. I've actually unclogged a Zippo before, and I made a video on it, but I actually lost the footage, so I wasn't able to upload it. But, yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world. If I ever come across another Zippo that is clogged, I will make a video on how to fix it. So anyway, there's the insert date. January of this year, which is very nice. My birthday is in January, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty close to my birthday. It could have been made on my birthday for all I know. That would be pretty cool. It'd be neat if Zippo would actually put the day that they were manufactured on them, but that would be a lot of like maintaining the machines and like switching out like dies, or actually I think in the case of the insert, this might be laser etched, but it would be quite insane to have to swap out the dies and the stamps all the time. So it makes sense that they don't do it, but I feel like even a monthly switching out would be quite a lot. So yeah. Anyway, guys, let's see if there's anything else I can think to say about any of these lighters, because we have unfortunately reached the end of the Zippos that I have bought this year. Well, sort of, because it's actually kind of a lie. I actually received a Zippo in the mail today, which is right here. And this is kind of going to be a sneak peek to one of my new Zippo videos. I am going to make a separate video on this one, but I wanted to include it in this video. The funny thing is that I ordered two things. I ordered this Zippo, and I ordered this watch, which is a very, very nice watch. I'm quite a fan of this watch. I might make a video on this, because it is a little bit of an odd watch. It has, you can't really see it there, but it does have Indiglo and a working chronograph. But I ordered this watch and this Zippo at the same time, and I wanted the Zippo to get here yesterday, and I wanted the watch to get here today, because I didn't really care about when the watch came here, but I wanted this to get here yesterday, so I actually got expedited, if that's the right way to say it, because actually I've never said that word before until today, thinking about it. I've got the expedited shipping on this one, so I basically paid like $3 for one-day shipping. And it didn't do anything. It still got here today along with this watch. So, fun stuff. But yeah, that's how that goes. I was hoping I could get it yesterday so I could go ahead and make a new Zippo video today and then like really include it in this video, but I'll just go ahead and let you guys see it. Maybe I'll even take the sticker off, but I am going to go ahead and let you guys know that I'm going to make a video on this one on its own. So this is actually, as you can see right there on the front, this is a very special one. This is the antique copper. This is a new model for 2017, and guys, as soon as I saw that Zippo was making an antique copper, I basically freaked out. I wanted to buy one ASAP, but right around the time it came out, Zippo actually wanted to hire me on as a photographer, so I wasn't sure if like they were going to send me one of these to photograph or not, so I never actually wound up buying one. And then, of course, they actually didn't send me one, I'll go ahead and say, but ultimately, that was kind of one of those things that kind of kept me from buying a lot of Zippos, is the fact that I got that photography job and I just wasn't really that into buying Zippos at the time. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't done a whole lot of new Zippo videos, but I was like very set on getting this Zippo eventually. And like I say, next year, it's going to be different. I will be getting like I'm going to basically try and go at the regular rate that I normally do in terms of buying Zippos. I'm going to try and get back into it in like full force. So anyway, yeah, a little sneak peek for you guys. The antique copper. There's your model, and here it is. I'll just show it to you right now. I don't know how many of you are actually going to be seeing this part of the video because this is quite a long video, but that is the antique copper, which is very pretty. And the temptation is to go ahead and take that sticker off right now. Should I? Maybe I will. You know what? Let's take it off right now because I've got it on video. There's your bottom stamp. It was made in E of 2017. Like I say, this is not the video for this. I'm going to make a proper video on this Zippo later, but let's just go ahead. You know what? Yeah. Let's peel that sticker off. Oh my gosh. I've been dying to hear this thing ping all day. Let me set that there. One thing I do with my stickers now is I put them behind this thing. Just so that it's out of sight. I kind of prefer it to be out of sight now. There you go. Put that back and put that back together. Alright, set that right there. So let's go ahead and let's hear that copper sound. Nice. There's your... Is that a copper insert? I thought this would have a copper insert. I know Tristan T-Man got one of these. And I really thought it would... I'm going to have to text him now. See if his had the copper insert. Wait, that is copper, isn't it? This is actually a matching insert, E of 17. I got to compare this real quick. I really thought I'd get a copper insert with that. Now I gotta text Tristan. Yeah, that's chrome. Interesting. So yeah, this one went with that. So let's go ahead and put these back in their respective lighters. Oh, that's actually kind of a bummer. Slightly a bit of a bummer. But oh well, that's fine. I'll be okay with it. I'm still extraordinarily happy to have that in my collection. I've always wanted a copper Zippo, and sure enough, now they're making them, so sweet. Anyway, guys, yep, that is going to, in fact, do it for this video. There are all the Zippos that I have bought this year. Excuse me. Do be looking for a video on this one in the future. But, guys, thank you so very much for watching this rather long-winded video, because I'm now seeing it's 25 minutes unedited. So thank you for watching this, guys, and adios. Happy New Year.